Okay, so welcome to our continuation of Punctuation is Important. It's time for us to go ahead and begin our lesson, so feel free to join me here in the Hangout. So in our last session, we talked about the importance of using periods and commas. Okay, so we're just going to continue on with our discussion there. Okay, so when you're ready, come on into the Hangout and join me. Wonderful. For those of you who are just joining me, welcome to our session. We're talking today about the importance of using correct punctuation and in the right places in your sentences. This will be very important as you're writing emails or writing letters, or as you're writing papers or essays for your college or university classes. All right, so if you have your Verbaling ticket, come on into the Hangout and we'll go right ahead and get started. Okay, and for those of you who aren't able to join us, you can participate in the chat if you would like. Okay, very good. Okay, great, Carwin. Thanks for joining me once again.
Welcome, teacher.
Okay, so did you have any questions about our previous session about our commas and our periods?
No, but maybe we need more practice in this. When to use period and comma. More practice.
You need some more practice. Okay, that's fine. And I do have some more activities so we can continue practicing. Okay. All right. Well, as other students join us, then they can also fall right in and take a look at our practice session. So I'm going to go ahead and start the screen share. And we're going to go ahead and continue our session. Okay, very good. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll down just a little bit more. Okay, now what we're going to do, remember, Carwin, we talked about what makes a complete sentence. Okay, so you told me that we needed a subject, a verb, and it has to be a complete thought or statement, right?
Right.
Now, I have two complete statements here. Okay, in these sentences. Now what I'd like you to do is to make them into two complete sentences. So what you'll do is you're going to tell me where to put the period in these two sentences.
I should rearrange it or no need?
No, you don't have to rearrange it. Just tell me where to put a full stop or a period.
Okay.
Actually, there are two periods that you need for each one.
He walked all the way home. Period. He shut the...
Oh, excuse me, sorry.
There's something, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, he shut the door. Period.
Yes. Okay. Now, there's something else I want to mention to you. When you have a complete sentence, your sentence will always start with a capital letter. Okay, so just like you see here with he, that's how I know that I'm at the beginning of my sentence. Now with your second sentence, I need to capitalize the H.
H, okay.
Right, so I have two sentences there, and you just told me what those are. Very good. Now, there's a reason that we're doing this, Carwin, so bear with me. This might seem very simple, but I want you to get into the mindset of breaking down your sentences into complete thoughts. Okay, that will help you with your punctuation. All right, let's go to number 2.
Okay. She went grocery shopping. He played soccer. She went grocery shopping. Period. Capitalize the H. And he played soccer. Period.
Beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead to number 3.
The car started to smoke. Caught. It caught on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Caught or cut? How we spell this word?
I'm sorry, ask your question again?
It caught or caught.
Mm-hmm. Just the way that it's spelled. Oh, caught. Caught.
Caught.
Mm-hmm.
Caught. Okay. The car started to smoke. Comma or period.
Okay, now is it a complete sentence? The car started to smoke?
No, I don't feel it's complete. We should put comma because they are related to each other. These two statements.
Okay, now before we relate the sentences, I want you to just tell me where my two ideas are. So let's go back to the car started to smoke. Does it have a subject and a verb?
Yeah, the car started. The car is the subject.
Right.
Started is the verb. Started to is the verb, right?
Well, actually, started to smoke, that's the complete verb phrase. Okay, so it's not just that the car started. It's not that it just started to, but it actually started to smoke. There's your complete idea. So if you say that, then I envision a car and smoke is coming out of the car, either from the engine or maybe from the tail. Okay, the tailpipe. Okay, now the second thought is, what's the second thought?
It caught on fire.
Right, so what's the subject here?
The car. It.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's the verb phrase here?
Caught. Uh, Caught on fire. It's all same.
That's
Same
right.
started to smoke.
That's right. Okay, so that's a different phrase. Caught on fire. Okay, very good. So we need that. So we have two complete thoughts here. Okay, all right, let's try number 4.
But one question, teacher.
Yes, I'm sorry.
If we, let's say, we remove the car started to smoke,
Mhm.
we will not have a complete sentence, right? It will be it caught on fire.
Yes, that's actually a complete sentence. Okay, it has a
Also,
subject and it has a verb phrase, caught on fire, and it is a complete thought. It's a complete statement.
okay.
Okay, so what that statement means is that something started.
There is a fire. Before
Right,
was smoke, now there's a fire.
but there's a fire. Okay, but it's the process of the fire starting. Okay, so to catch on fire means to start the fire.
Okay.
Okay, all right, good. So good. So let's move on to number 4. Great question.
Okay. He started very hard. He got an A on his exam. He started very hard. Period.
Okay.
Capitalize the H.
Mm-hmm.
He got an A on his exam. Period.
Beautiful. Okay, those are your two complete thoughts. Excellent job. Okay, and let's move on to, okay, we have a few more here, so this is great practice. Okay, go ahead with number 5.
The the twins cleaned their room. The twins cleaned their room. We are taking them to the movie.
Excuse
We
me.
are taking them to the
Right.
movies
Right.
tonight.
Right.
The twins clean their room. period. We can use
Mm-hmm.
period.
Good.
Capitalize the W.
Mhm.
We are taking them to the movies tonight. Period.
Very good. Okay, number 6.
It started to rain very hard. The concert was postponed. It started to rain very hard. The, period. We can use period. Capitalize the T. The concert was postponed. Period.
Okay, right. The concert was postponed. Good. Right. Okay. No. Okay, so postponed or it was delayed. Very good. Okay, and number 7.
I ate spice food. I got the heartburn. I got heart, uh, heartburn.
Mm-hmm.
I ate spice food. Period. I got a heartburn. Period.
Right. Okay. So, has that ever happened to you, Carwin? Have you ever gotten heartburn
Yeah. When I was trying them, I get a burn.
when you were?
I when the pepper. Uh, I don't know the
Oh,
name.
pepper. Okay.
Pepper. Yeah.
Yeah, so you ate pepper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
That'll
was
do
very
it.
hard.
That will do it. Okay, good. Well, that's not good that you got heartburn, but once you get it once, then you learn your lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's go ahead to number 8.
She was driving too fast. Period.
Okay,
The T capital. The policeman gave her a ticket.
that's
Period.
right. Good. Two complete thoughts. Okay, and then number 9.
He burst out laughing. His sister told a funny joke. He burst out laughing. Um, Period. Between after that, his sister told a funny joke.
Mm-hmm.
Funny joke. Period.
Mm-hmm. Funny joke, period. Okay, and finally number 10.
I study English 3 times a week. Period.
Okay,
I want to improve my pronunciation. Period.
very good. Excellent job. Okay, so yeah, your punctuation is in the right are in the right places, right two places in each sentence. Now, you mentioned something earlier. You said that you can relate these two thoughts. Okay, now the point that I wanted to make in having you make these two sentences, these two complete thoughts, is that if you combine them, first you have to recognize that they are two complete thoughts, two complete sentences. Then you can join them together.
Okay.
Okay, so here it is. Join two independent clauses or two independent sentences into a compound sentence using a coordinator. Okay, and here are the coordinators: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so.
Okay.
Okay, now sometimes to help people remember that, they use this acronym. What's really not an acronym? Okay, so fanboys.
Okay.
Okay, so if you can remember fanboys, okay, so the F for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, etc. Okay, so you see the relation there? Okay, yeah, that'll help you to remember it. If you're trying to decide, okay, is it a coordinator or not? Think fanboys.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, remember, except for very short sentences, coordinators are always preceded by a comma. All right. So here is our friend the comma again. Okay. Now let's take a look at the example. Can you read the example for me?
I had to work. I couldn't go to the concert. Uh, I had to work, comma, so I couldn't go to the concert. Period.
Very good. Okay, so now you've joined or you've shown the relationship between these two sentences. So if I ask you, Karwan, why didn't you go to the concert? What could you say?
I had to work.
Good. You could simply say, I had to work, or you could say, because I had to work, or you could use this compound sentence. You could say, I had to work, so I couldn't go to the concert.
Okay. So before the fanboys, I should use comma.
Yeah.
Comma
Yes,
fanboys.
comma fanboys. That's it. You got it. I love it when students get the point. There you go. That's it. So you're going to say comma fanboys. Okay, and actually, I'm going to put that here. Comma plus fanboys. Now, the only exception to that is if you have two very short sentences. Okay, so I eat, I sleep. So you could say, here it is. I eat, period, I sleep. Two complete thoughts. And I would simply say, I eat and I sleep. Okay, this is the exception. Okay, the two sentences are so short, you don't need a comma there. That sentence is perfectly fine, just like it is.
Okay.
Okay, all right, very good. Okay, so now let's try it. Okay, so I'm going to have you make a couple of compound sentences. Now I've given you the same sentences that we had above. Okay, but now I want you to show a relationship between the sentences. Okay, now remember fanboy, comma, fanboys.
He walked all the way home. He walked all the way home. But he shot, but not but. Oh, he shut so he shut the door. Uh, comma, so he shut the door.
Okay, so he walked all the way home, comma, so he shut the door. Okay, so when you use, sorry, when you use so, okay, usually the second sentence is as a result of the first sentence. So let's go back up to the example. Okay, so I couldn't go to the concert. Now, why was that? Okay, it's directly as it's a consequence of the first part. I had to work. Okay, now let's see if the same thing could be true here. So he walked all the way home, so he shut the door.
Maybe, and he shut the door.
Very good. Okay, but remember, you need your comma and your fanboy.
Okay. So if I use so, I have a reason, and right?
Yes, right, exactly. So you're basically you're showing that one thing is a result of the first thing you said.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's take number 2.
He went grocery shopping. He played soccer. He went grocery shopping. Uh, uh, or he, uh, where is the?
Okay. Sorry about that. I just wanted to show you
Uh,
the fanboys again.
I wrote it in my notebook.
Oh, you have it. Okay, good.
Yeah. Uh, he went grocery shopping. He played soccer. But he played. I can say, but he played soccer,
Yes, you can.
comma, but he played soccer.
Okay. Good. All right, let's try number 3.
Okay. The car started to smoke, uh, so it caught on fire, comma, so
Okay, so did the smoke cause the fire? Or did it just come before the fire?
before the fire.
All right, so it just came before the fire.
Yeah, I cannot use so.
No.
And and it caught on fire.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Number 4.
He studied very hard. He got an A on his exam. He studied very hard and he got an A on his exam.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Yeah, he got. The twins cleaned their room.
Okay, and the only thing we need to do at the end of our sentences,
Period.
right, is to put our period. So let's just make sure that we have our periods at the end there. Okay, good. Okay, let's continue.
The twins cleaned their room. We are talking their room. Uh, so,
There you go. You've got to use it. Good.
comma. So we are taking them to the movie. Period.
Mhm.
The so we don't need to make it capital. The first
No.
character.
No. Now, the reason why we're not making it capital is because we've taken 2 sentences and made them into one sentence. All right, so we already have our capital letter here with the. Okay, so it's the same sentence. It's our compound sentence.
Okay. It started to rain very hard. Uh, so the concert was. So the concert was, so the concert was postponed.
Good. Okay.
I ate spicy food and I got a heartburn. Got a heartburn.
Okay. So you can just simply say, and I got heartburn. Okay, we don't need
I,
an article there. Mhm.
I got
Okay, now usually you don't use an article there because heartburn is a non-count noun. You can't count heartburn
okay.
because you either have it or you don't. Mm-hmm.
Heart, heartburn. A period. You add.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. She was driving too fast, so the policeman gave her a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So no.
Okay, now you could either use so there, you could also use for, and.
But the so place is not correct. Too fast and then so.
Very good. Okay.
Period.
All right, number 9.
He burst out laughing. His sister and his sister told uh, he, yeah, I don't know. Uh, and his sister told it's not and, not for and nor but or yet. So uh, I don't know. We should use and.
Okay. All right, you could use for here. Okay, in this sense, what you mean is for actually has the idea of because.
Exactly. We need because, right?
He's like, I want because. Okay, all right. Now you can use a conjunction here. Okay, you could either use for, or you could simply say because his sister told a funny joke. Okay, now here you don't need a comma, okay, because this doesn't fall into the fanboys.
Okay.
He burst out laughing because his sister told a funny joke. Now you could change the order of the sentences, of the two sentences. Now what if you change the order of the sentences? Could I use fanboys then?
Yeah. So he burst out laughing.
Okay, you could use so, or you could also use
Uh, and
right? So his sister told a funny joke and he burst out laughing.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Very good. Okay, and then the last sentence?
I study English 3 times a week. So I want to improve my pronunciation. For no, not for.
Yep, you could use for. You could use it that way.
Because yeah, you can. Okay.
Or you could use because, or you can
Because
simply change the order of your sentence.
yeah, you are right.
Uh-huh. Okay, so you could say, I want to
So I study English 3 times.
Okay. So it just depends. And it's actually good that we're looking at it this way because this is what native speakers do. I think we just subconsciously flip our sentences around. Okay, just depending on how we want to relate the parts of the sentence or our clauses. All right, so you need to be able to do that as well as as a student of the language. Okay, very good. Okay, so now let me ask you just a review question. So why use a compound sentence? Why even bother?
So we have a clear sentence. We are separating the reasons and the reason and the fact.
Mm-hmm. Good. It's like a cause and effect. You can use a compound sentence to show that. And also, you're going to sound strange if you always use simple sentences. Okay? Right? And
And
you're
it will be difficult to understand what he mean exactly.
yeah, that's right. You won't know how the simple sentences are related. Okay, so in order to sound more native, you want to use compound sentences, but you have to understand the parts of the compound sentence in order to use it effectively. Okay, so that's why we did our exercise above in making sure that you understood the parts of your compound sentence. Okay?
Okay.
All right, very good. So if you take nothing away from that section, think comma fanboy. Okay. All right, now let's talk about a different way that you can use a comma. Okay, when starting a sentence with a dependent clause, use a comma after it. Now let me show you an example. Okay. If you're not sure about this, let me know. Okay, so how do I know if I have a dependent clause? Okay, so here's your rule of thumb. If you take away the rest of the sentence, okay, if you take it away, hey, what just happened? Sorry. Okay, so if you take away the second part of the sentence and ask yourself if it is a complete thought. Okay, just what we were doing before, but we're going to do the exact same thing. Okay, so if you're not sure about this, Okay, is that a complete sentence? Does that make sense on its own?
No.
It does not.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a dependent clause. All right, so this is what you're going to do. If you start your sentence with a dependent clause, use a comma after it. Okay, so let's put the sentence back. Okay, there's your friendly comma. There's your friend right there, and I'm going to change the color. Let me know now.
Okay.
Okay, if I take away, if I just leave, let me know now, is that a complete sentence?
Let me know now. Let me know now. It's a complete sentence.
It's a complete sentence. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so this is what we would call our complex sentence. All right, it has an independent clause and it can have one or more dependent clauses. Okay?
So at the beginning we need an independent clause, and then after comma we need no, the first one is dependent clause, and after comma we need independent clause.
Right, so I'm going to type that here. So I'm going to put, okay, so dependent clause, comma, and I'm just going to put plus comma, just so that you see it, plus comma, and then our independent clause. If that's how you form it. And let me just change that color so that it stands out. Okay? Beautiful. Excellent job. Okay? All right, now let's see. Let me have you try it now. Okay? All right, so let's put it into practice. So let's take number one. Okay, again, you're just going to tell me all of the punctuation that I need, my commas and my periods.
Okay. If you don't fix the hole in the ceiling, comma, ceiling, no, ceiling, comma, it will continue to leak, period.
Good. Excellent job. Okay? Number
Okay.
two.
While my car is being painted, comma, I will need to take the bus, period.
Okay. Now, there's one more thing that you need to change with this sentence. Okay.
The capital of,
The capital I. Now, why do I need to capitalize that I?
because it's independent clause.
There you go. There's your independent clause. Now, your independent clause is the same as saying it's a simple sentence. Your simple sentence always starts with a capital letter.
Okay.
You got it. Okay? Number three.
Before you begin taking a new medication, uh, comma, you will need to check the side effect, period. To check the side effect. The U should be capitalized also.
Okay, now, let me just clarify. Okay, I just want to make sure I clarify. You'll see that in the first sentence, the I in it is not capitalized.
Correct.
Okay, although it is an independent clause. Now, the reason that I didn't capitalize it there is because, again, it's a part of a complex sentence. All right, so really, the beginning of the sentence starts with if. Okay, but there is an exception with I. Okay, I is used here as a pronoun. I is always capitalized when it's a pronoun.
So if we have, let's say the, also we can capitalize or we cannot.
Okay, so if you say they, okay, no, we would not capitalize it. Okay, if we had two separate sentences, we would. Okay, so sorry, I didn't mean to mislead you there. Okay, I is just always capitalized when it's a pronoun. All
Okay,
right.
I got it.
Okay.
Before you begin taking a new medication, you will need to check the side effects. So now it's okay. No need to capitalize.
Right, good.
Since you
Okay.
have, since you haven't cleaned your room, you cannot go to the concert. Since you haven't cleaned your room, comma, you cannot go to the concert. Period.
There you go. Beautiful job. Okay.
Until he apologized to me for his rude behavior, I refuse to see him. Comma, I refuse to see him. The period. Period.
Right, good. All right, okay. Now again, so until he apologizes for his rude behavior. Okay, now
Mm,
remember your I is always capitalized, so I refuse to see him.
okay.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so there's our section. All right, now here's our rule. If you have if you have a complex sentence, okay, you'll have an independent clause and at least one dependent clause. If your dependent clause comes first, put a comma after it, and then put your independent clause. Okay?
Okay.
All right, very good. Now, let's see what happens if your independent clause comes first. Okay, it says often a comma is unnecessary, so that we don't need it when the sentence starts with an independent clause followed by a dependent clause. Okay, so I'm going to use the same example that I used above, but now look at the difference. Let me know if you're not sure about this.
Okay. If you are not sure about this, look into okay.
Okay, all right, so you see that there is no comma. So when you start off with your independent clause, okay, it doesn't need anything else. So you don't have to put a comma afterwards. But if you start with the dependent clause, it does need what follows afterwards. So you're going to put a comma and then the independent clause. Now, let's make sure that we got it. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy these sentences again at the bottom. Now, what you are going to do is you're going to just change the order of the sentence. You're going to put the independent clause first, and you're going to take out the comma.
So in this case, we will not use comma, only period.
Right. What? Right. Exactly. Okay. So let me change this, and there we go. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So let's try it now.
Okay. Didn't, if you don't fix the hole in the ceiling, it will continue to leak. Now,
Okay. Let me just put something here that will give you a heads up. So you're going to put your independent clause plus your dependent clause. Okay, now notice there is no comma. Okay.
uh, the ceiling will continue to leak if you didn't fix the hole.
Okay. Right now, I see where you're going, and you're close. But all you're going to do is just take that whole clause at the end,
Okay, it will
put it in the
continue
beginning.
to leak. It will continue to leak. Okay.
Okay. And
If
then
you didn't fix the hole in the ceiling. Okay. Period. Correct.
okay.
In the way that I said, it's correct or it is incorrect.
Okay, there it is. It will continue to leak if you don't fix the hole in the Excuse me, that's not how you spell whole. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so it will continue to leak if you don't fix the hole in the ceiling. Okay, now there's no comma in that sentence. Is that okay?
It's okay because there is a if and you will continue after the if.
That's right. Okay, it's okay because your independent clause comes first and then your dependent clause.
But teacher, I can say the ceiling will continue to leak if you didn't fix the hole.
Yes, you have two choices. Okay, so you have this one, or you can go back up to the first sentence that we had. See number one here? If you don't fix the, correct that. So if you don't fix the hole in the ceiling, comma, it will continue to leak. You've just said the same thing.
No, I said the ceiling.
I'm sorry, say it again.
The ceiling will continue to leak if you didn't fix the hole. So I bring the ceiling.
Okay, so let me put it here. Okay. All right, you said the ceiling will continue
to leak
to leak
if you didn't fix the hole.
Okay, so the ceiling will continue to leak if you didn't fix the hole. Okay, so let's think about when you might say that. Okay, so maybe I could say, I can't figure out why the ceiling is still leaking. And you would say the ceiling will continue to leak if you didn't fix the hole.
Okay.
Okay, yes, you could say that. Okay, the ceiling will continue to leak if you didn't fix the hole. Now, your rule of thumb there is to make sure that you actually have an independent clause and a dependent clause.
Okay. But this one is correct or is incorrect?
Okay. Now, I want you to tell me, okay, do you have an independent clause in that sentence?
Continue to leak. Yeah, there is independent.
Okay, and do you have a dependent clause there?
No, there is none. You didn't fix the hole. Also, it's independent. So I have two independent in this case.
All right, now let's see. Let's double check that. Okay, so you said the first part, the ceiling will continue to leak. You said that's your independent clause. Now let's see if this part is independent or dependent. So if you didn't fix the hole, now is that a complete statement?
No, it's dependent.
Right, that's dependent. Okay? So, yes. Okay, so is this okay? Can you say this? The ceiling will continue to leak if you didn't fix the hole?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yes, you can. All right, now I didn't want to answer your question directly because if you are taking an exam, an English test, I won't be there. Okay, so great. So these are the questions. If you ask yourself these questions, do your own self-test, then you'll be able to know the correct answer for sure. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Good, you're welcome. Good. So let's have number 2.
While my car is being painted, I will need to take the bus. I will need to take the bus while my car is being painted. Period.
Okay, good. I will need to take the bus while my car is being painted. Good. Number 3.
Before you begin taking a new medication, you will need to check the side effect. You will need to check the side effect before you being taking a new medica- medication. Okay, period.
Okay, good. Number 4.
You cannot go to the concert. We cannot go to the concert since you haven't cleaned your room. Period.
Okay, and then number 5.
Uh, until he apologizes, I will mute Mustafa.
Okay, good. So you
Thank you.
said, okay, say that
And
again.
until he apologized, I refused to see him until he apologized to me for his rude behavior.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, beautiful, beautiful job. Okay, there you go. All right, now, so you have options, and I wanted to just make sure. Okay, hi, Mustafa. Let me say hello. Good to have you here in class, Mustafa. I just I put your microphone on mute just because there was some background noise there. Um, but when you're ready to participate, go ahead and use your microphone, Mustafa, okay? Mustafa, hello, how are you doing?
Maybe he cannot hear us.
Okay, yeah, I think he can't, and I can't unmute. Okay, well, okay. Excuse me. Okay, beautiful. So you see that you have options. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll up so you can see your options. Now, I think that's one of the hardest things when you're trying to learn a language is to think of different ways to say, basically to say the same thing. Okay, all right, so here with this one, you either put your independent clause first and then your dependent clause. Now, in this one, you do not need your comma. However, if you put your dependent clause first, you do need your comma. Okay, you need your comma. Okay, and then you could also see why it's so important to identify if you have a complete sentence or not. Okay, even if you don't have a complete sentence, you could use it as a clause. You could use it as a dependent clause. Okay. Right, so today in this lesson, we've talked about lots of different things. Okay, we've talked about simple sentences. We've talked about compound sentences where you combine two independent clauses. Okay, and you're going to do that with your comma and your fanboys. And then we've talked about complex sentences where you have your independent clause and at least one dependent clause.
Okay. And
Alright.
this is the only cases I can use comma and period, or there is a more than that?
No, there's actually more. It would not be the English language if that was it. Of course there's more. Okay, so if you want to get some more practice, if you want yet more practice using commas, I'm going to give you, I'm going to show you another example, and then I can show you a link, and then that way you'll get lots and lots of practice with it. Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, you're welcome. Okay, so what if you're going to add some important information about a person. Okay, so let's say, okay, let's talk about something that's not essential. Okay, so I'm going to give you a sentence. Now, this is the wrong thing to do. Okay, and I'll show you why. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. And let me make it bigger so that you can see it. 26, Cumbria. Okay, beautiful. And I don't want the... Okay. All right, so here's a sentence. Okay, now here, Jill, who is my sister, shut the door. Okay. What are the important parts to this sentence? Is there any information that we can take out of this sentence?
Shut the door. My sister shut the door.
Right, that's the important part. Okay, so who is my sister? Okay, now Jill being your sister is important. I'm not going to say that's not important. But if I don't have it in my sentence, let's see, so let me just take it out. So if I don't have it in my sentence, does the sentence make sense? Okay.
Jill shut the door.
Right. Does that make sense?
It seems yes.
Yes, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. You have your subject, and then your verb phrase, shut the door. That makes perfect sense. Now, just say I want to add some additional information. I want to tell you that she is my sister.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if I want to add, okay, now this is not an independent clause here. Who is my sister does not stand alone. So this is how you treat that. You put a comma after Jill, and you put another comma after sister. Okay, shut the door. Now, the reason you do that is because I'm going to look between the commas. And if I can do this, and my sentence still makes sense, then I really didn't need that information. That's why they say that it's non-essential. So I don't need it in order to make my sentence. So if I'm going to add information like that, I'm going to offset it by commas.
Because it's extra information.
It's extra information. You don't need it, but you, as a speaker or as a writer, you may just want to add that information.
Okay.
Okay? Now, let me give you another example so that you can see it. Now, this is the incorrect sentence. I want you to tell me what is the correct way to say this sentence. Okay? Again, let me get it to a... Okay. All right, and there we go. Okay.
The man knowing it was late, it's the important. Correct.
Okay. Okay, so remember, for our complete sentence, we need a subject.
The man is the subject.
Right, there's your subject. Now, what is the verb or verb phrase?
Knowing is the verb.
Okay, all right, so that part all goes together. Knowing it was late. Okay, that's what he knew. He knew it was late. Okay, and what did he do? Oh, excuse me. Okay, what did he do?
He hurried home.
He hurried home. Okay, so now what happens if I take a part of that sentence out?
Correct. It's a complete sentence.
It's a complete sentence. Okay, so now what am I going to do with this phrase or this?
The man, comma, knowing it was late, comma, hurried home.
That's right. There you go. And what's between the commas is non-essential. I don't really need that for my sentence.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, so here is the link that I want to share with you because this link has some very good information on it. Let's see. Here. Okay. All right. So if you check out that website, you're going to find a long list of rules. I think, well, let me just take a look at it. I'm seeing that there are 16 rules. Right. So we didn't talk about all 16 rules. So some of the rules might be for when you're writing is for advanced writers. Okay, and you may actually, you're at an intermediate, advanced level with your writing, so you may want to use some now, and you may be able to wait to use some of these rules at a later date. Okay, but at least you will have them in your English tool bag for when you do need them. Okay? Good.
Thank you,
So
teacher.
you're welcome. This was a great review. Thanks so much for joining me as a participant. Mustafa, thanks for joining us. I'm not sure what happened with your microphone. No, I can't hear you, unfortunately. Okay, but I'll have you check your microphone and then we'll have maybe look for you in another class. All right, so for the viewers, thanks for viewing. If you have a ticket and you'd like to join me for a future class, you're welcome to do that. All right, bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye.